Another crazy night of fights at BKFC Fight Night Hollywood. We are home now. It is after 2 o'clock in the morning, and we are giving you our recap of tonight's fights. It was a wild night of action, and we did a short recap on our YouTube on our Instagram channel, Combat Corner Fight Network. So go follow us over there and check out all the content we put on the Instagram channel. But welcome back to another edition of Combat Corner, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez Showmont. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all. And for those of you who saw me at the fight and recognized me from the podcast and came up to me and said hello, you have no idea how much that means to me. I appreciate the comments, the compliments, and that you appreciate the content that I put out. So I thank you genuinely from the bottom of my heart. What a night of fights, man. But it ended in a very, very odd way. Bryce Henry gets the win over Julian Lane via disqualification. It was a very odd fight. It was a very tough fight to score, to watch, honestly. Your eyes may have been telling you that Bryce Henry was winning, but the statistics would not tell you that. And the style of fight that was happening wouldn't tell you that. And the fact that Julian Lane's face looked a bloody mess wouldn't tell you that. But if you were paying close attention to the fight, this fight was much closer than people might think. Like my sons were sitting really close to the ring. Thank you to Victor Demesman. I appreciate you, man. As always, my brother. I'm sitting with the press way up higher, but they're sitting like row 3 or 2, just above the floor, which fantastic seats. Actually sitting with Bryce Henry's family, no less. And they both thought Bryce Henry was winning 2-1. I thought Julian Lane was winning 2-1, to be honest. But it wasn't because Julian Lane was doing so much. It was more so the style of the fight. And it turned into a lot of wrestling and grappling. And Bryce Henry wasn't fighting at distance, in my opinion, the way he needed to, like utilizing that 13-inch reach advantage and his massive height difference. Now he split Julian Lane open. He split him open. I know I'm taking a long time to get to what actually happened, but he split him open, and that cut right across Julian Lane's middle of his forehead. It was like, kind of went like this. Weird. He had a lot of stitches. You could tell in the post-fight press conference. But Julian Lane goes for a double leg takedown to start round 4. And here's some video of it, because it was the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen. I've never seen nothing like this in my life. And it was like, oh, this man just went back to old school MMA. And I mean, this is what happened. And this is courtesy of BKFC Instagram. And here you got
Lane driving, hitting the full double leg takedown. Not sure what that was about.
He's like,
Here
what?
come the boos. And timeout called by Sam
No, I
Burgos.
think Bryce, his face, as you can see, is pretty fucked up.
This fight is over. Disqualified. Hand on the turn from Henry. That was slick. Lane driving, hitting the full double leg takedown.
I don't know what this man was thinking about.
Not sure what that was about. Here come the boos.
Crazy.
And timeout called by Sam Burgos.
Now, you can see Lane's face is covered in blood. Now, here's what Julian Lane said after the fight. I asked him specifically, what came over you? Like, I said flat out, I thought you were winning, right? I thought you were arguably winning. Now, I don't know what the scorecards read. I know that I thought he was up 2-1. I talked to other people in the media who thought he was up 2-1. People inside BKFC who thought he was up 2-1. I talked to them after the fight. And I got to tell you, this shit made no sense. But if you look at his face, you see that cut that's going from here, right here. Like, this is a nasty ass cut. It kind of went over here too on the opposite side of his nose. It was a nasty ass cut. And he said that he wasn't going for a double leg takedown. He said that Henry had popped him early in the round. As you see, there was a minute 30 to go when this happened. Popped him early in the round, and that he started bleeding again into his eye. He couldn't see, and he ducked down to grab him. But folks, you saw he grabbed him around his thighs, and he says that Henry was coming forward and then lifted up in the air, and then he got, but like this, you can't make this shit up, folks. Look at this again.
You see Bryce Henry flat on his.
But you can see the blood.
This fight is over. Disqualified. Hand on the turn from Henry.
This is straight double leg takedown. This is not great. Julian, I mean, God bless you, bro. And here's the thing. You see the statistics here? These are the punch stats in the bottom right. Julian Lane outlanded Bryce Henry in every round. Yet his face looks like that. That is how dangerous Bryce Henry is. That in 14 landed strikes, Julian Lane's face is split the fuck open like that. And that's why I thought Bryce Henry just fought a weird fight. I thought he should have been fighting at distance. He was almost closing distance at times. Like, you have when I say the reach advantage between these two guys is like this. It's 83 to 70. So that's what, 6.5 inches per arm? Something like that. Like, this reach advantage is like crazy. He's 6'4". Lane's 5'9", 5'10". I was floored. I mean, we're all sitting there shocked. But that's what he said. That's what Julian Lane said. And, Bryce Henry says he would fight him again. He says he would rematch him. But look at this. I mean, this is a straight up double leg takedown. That's not like. And he planted that takedown. Not sure. It was a serious takedown, folks. And that's how the main event ended. Obviously, Dave Feldman wasn't happy with it and how it went down. Some people, Henry says that had the fight continued, he would have finished the fight. It's quite possible. But I do think the stats are glaring that he had outlanded him 2-1 in the fight. It was a very rough and rugged fight. Like I said, it wasn't a pretty fight. It was a kind of the fight that Lane needed to have in order for it to be a competitive fight, in my opinion. He had to make it ugly. He had to make it dirty. And statistically, he outthrew him. He outlanded him. Now, those are the stats that you have there on the screen. Now, the stats here are different. The stats here say 88 thrown. Lane landed 55. Henry threw 79, landed 48. Maybe they're talking about 6 significant strikes. But I can tell you that I thought Lane was arguably winning that fight. I thought he had won rounds 2 and 3. I thought he definitely won round 3. I thought he won round 2 and 3. And hell, if you want to look at it and say that Henry landed only 1 punch in round 1, shit, maybe Lane was up 3-0. I don't know what the cards show though, because I haven't seen that anywhere. All I know is that Julian Lane was in this fight. He was not getting taken to the cleaners by any means. This was a step up in competition for Bryce Henry. I thought he was doing a good job. I didn't think he was doing a bad job. I just thought he was fighting an odd fight for the style. Like, you need to fight this guy at distance, utilize your reach, your jab. He should have been jabbing the entire fight, in my opinion. And maybe it's a thing of the big lights and the big situation, and you're the main event, a lot of pressure. But he says he felt so calm coming in that it was almost weird. This is what Bryce Henry said. He felt almost weird that he was so calm. And so maybe that calmness was bad. Maybe that comments had him relaxing to where he wasn't sharp. He wasn't sharp, in my opinion. And I would love to see these two guys fight again, because I thought with a dominant performance by Bryce Henry, he could arguably ask for a title shot. And I thought the same. If Lane had won, he could have arguably asked for a title shot. Now, I don't think either guy obviously is anywhere near a title shot. I think Henry needs at least one more win. Heck, Dave Feldman said so as well after the fight. So I think we're going to see the Dustin Peg, Rico Franco unification fight between the champ and the interim champ. But I would like to see this fight again. I mean, I don't know if it gets made, but I don't know who else wants to fight Bryce Henry at welterweight. Is it welterweight? Yeah, welterweight. I don't know who else wants to fight him at welterweight, because people have been avoiding this dude like the plague. They don't want to fight him. He's a style matchup nightmare. And quite frankly, the only guy that has the balls to do it is Julian Lane. So how about we do make a rematch, make that shit for September, and let's get these two bad boys back in that damn ring and let's do this again. Because I think it needs to happen. But hey, that was the main event, man. It was a very odd way to end the night. And there's some comments here, that are made here, by the way. And before we continue, man, I want to give a shout out and my prayers to Ron from Savage Combat Media Sports, man. We're in the fight. You all know Ron very well. He's going through some medical situations right now. It's not a good situation, and I want to send my prayers to him. We missed him tonight, obviously, at the fight. He's undergone a number of surgeries this week, and it's a very serious situation. So please do give some prayers to Ron from Savage Combat Sports. God bless you, man. We miss you. We pray that you get better, man. But yeah, let's like continuing looking at this. Like, this was these comments. Some of these comments are not. They're not happy with Bryce Henry. There's someone saying he's faking an injury, his crazy work, hell of an acting job. Not gonna lie, Buddy on the ground just didn't want to fight. Damn, Bryce, you ain't have to sell it like that. You could have kept going. You was winning the fight. Well, I don't know if he was or not. Maybe not. Flopping main event is crazy. Didn't know there was flopping in bare knuckle brawls. Yeah, people ain't happy with it, man. Now, going into co-main event of this fight tonight. Oh my God, this fucking fight was crazy. Bro, Gogo Slavetsky and Johnny Tello put on a classic. They put on a classic tonight. Gogo comes in there, he drops Johnny Tello in round one with a body shot. You get Tello then Gogo just empties the tank so fast. He throws everything he can throw, and he just runs. He ran out of gas in round one, and then in rounds 2, 3, and 4, Johnny Tello just pretty much dominated the fight, and he pieced Gogo up. But Gogo's a warrior, and I thought Tello was probably winning round 5, and then Gogo clipped him again and dropped him again. So now you have two rounds that are 2 points a pop, 10-8, 10-8. At worst case scenario, you got a 47-46 win by Gogo because he knocked him down twice, even though Tello won rounds 2, 3, and 4. Let's say Tello doesn't get knocked down in round 5. At best case scenario for Gogo, we got a draw at 47-47, 47-47, and 48-46 would have been the card. Or 47-46 would have been 47-46. Yeah, 47-46 would have been the card. Wait, could have he won 47-46, 47-46, and 48-45. So it would have been 47-4. It'd been 47-47, 47-47, and 47-46. So it would have been a draw. And Tello, I tell you what, man, what a warrior that guy is. And the fact is he had a fight like this versus Sabah Hamasi, I think it was last year, and he got beat up for 2 rounds. And then the last 3, he dominated Hamasi, and, similar type of fight. And and that was at a bit higher weight class too, a bigger guy. Just it was a crazy fight. What a fight between these two guys. It was fight of the night. I mean, this is some action.
Left to the body from Johnny Tello. Big shots left.
Look at that shit. He had him on the ropes, man. Look at that knockdown. Jesus. That was the fight right there. That won the fight. And Tello said in the post-fight presser, he's like, I was like, damn. I thought I was doing good in round 5 too. He was. And then you hear he had some neck issues that he was dealing with the entire camp. And they're getting a rematch though. Dave Feldman announced a rematch for this fight at BKFC, the cruise ship fight in January. So Tello says he's going to go Rocky and go to Russia and train for Drago. He says he's joking about that, but he says all his focus will be on training for this fight. So, but what a fight it was.
I'm not sure how close it was before. That might have put it out of one eye.
Look at him. He's pushing Gogo back.
Big shots left hand.
Pushing Gogo back.
Sloveski trying to tap counter. Tello having to
Oh my God, left. Like, this was a classic. This was fight of the night. Well-deserved co-main event. What a fight this was, man. What a fight this was. Now moving on to that third fight between Tomahawk Townsend and Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones? Mike Jones is fighting up in weight, man. Tomahawk Townsend's one fight away from a title shot. Damn, Tomahawk, what happened here? He got Mike Jones against the ropes, landing, coming out like fire, man. And Mike Jones clips him twice and finishes Tomahawk Townsend, folds him over. What a finish.
Ward off with the corner cushion, left hand. Locked down, pressure down from Townsend, right hand, counter left hand. A big left hand to get on the counter from Jones.
It was crazy. He can't get up. I thought I can't believe he ain't getting up.
It might be.
Wow.
It could be. It is.
He's done, man. Mike Jones, what a finish. What a finish. And now Mike Jones is calling for a title shot. He's calling for you, Esteban Mohawk Rodriguez. He's calling for you, man. I thought we were going to get Mohawk versus Tomahawk. We are getting, we could be seeing Mike Jones, especially with the fact that Lorenzo Hunt's fighting Pugliese over in Naples. We need to have a title shot for our boy Mohawk, man. Maybe that's the fight coming up next. Maybe it's in Colorado or Utah or Michigan or Chicago or someplace. I don't know. It won't be down here more than likely, but I would love to see it. And I think that's a fight that needs to, Mike Jones, bro, big time win. G the Cutman Perez gets an easy dub over Mike Hansen. Holy shit. G Perez, bro, this fight was like that. It was like a sparring session. I talked to G after the fight. He wasn't in the post-fight press conference, but I talked to him at the Hard Rock after the fight, and I was like, bro, that was like a fucking sparring session, bro. He's like, I hit him with the first shot. I saw his eyes roll, and I knew he was done. He says, I thought this would be way tougher. I hit him with that first shot, and his eyes rolled. I knew this shit was done. Like, bro, it was done so damn fast. It was like, did you even hit him? But he sure did. Is this happening in only like 30 seconds? This happened in 30 seconds, man. So, this is the first knockdown. That's the third one. I'm sorry. Third one in
victory. Number 7.
Listen, the title fight ain't ready yet, so Stroh, stop being a little poo. I don't want to cuss. Stop being a little pee and come on and play, baby. Let's go. Waiting for your ass. Listen.
So G is calling out for Andrew Strode. Will Andrew Strode come back to the BKFC and fight G Perez? We all know what happened the last time they fought. It was for the title, interim title, and G won the first 2 rounds, but he got a big cut on his ear, and it caused the fight to be stopped because it sliced right through, all the way through, and the doctor stopped it. And Strode was given the title off of that. And yeah, he wanted to fight Dotson. That fight was not going to get made because they wanted him to fight G again, because everyone knows that he didn't win that fight the right way. And he didn't want to take the fight. So he vacated the belt. And I think he left the BKFC, but who knows? Maybe he's coming back to the BKFC. Maybe he wants to give it another go. I don't know. We haven't seen Strode fight anywhere else since. And who knows? Maybe we're gonna get that rematch that we need to see, because there's nothing else for G to do, man. G needs to fight for a title. Like, we have got to stop the cap here. G has got to fight for a title. He doesn't have to fight any more of these guys that he's fighting. He's taken on 2 other fights, I think, since that fight with Strode. He needs a title shot, whether it's an interim strap fight again with Andrew Strode, or fighting at 35 against Jamel Herring for the belt. He needs to be fighting for the title. It's just that simple. But that was a sparring session for G today. Other fights on the card. I mean, you had Peter Peraza, D2G. He fought Ashton Caniglia. This was embarrassing, honestly. I mean, Ashton Caniglia owes people some money. And when I mean by owes people some money, he owes Peter Peraza money for the money he paid his coaches for training. Because if you're going to come out and fight like that, it's like, why did I even train for this? Because Peter Peraza could have rolled off the couch to fight this dude the way this dude fought in this fight. I mean, he was absolutely petrified of Peter Peraza. He fought scared out of his mind. You can step back out from Peraza. By the way, Peraza knocked this dude down like 7 times. I mean,
Peraza being a lot more patient. There's the duck under heavy to the inside comes Peter Peraza. Now from the half-time club, Ashton Caniglia. Big right hands on the inside from Peraza on the right hand. Down goes Ashton Caniglia.
Wow, that was impressive to see that power advantage.
Another one right down again. I mean, this is ridiculous. This guy had no interest in fighting.
What did he tell you, John? He's going to
He just stayed down.
Back to the inside, overhand right.
20 seconds later, right back down again. I mean, either his balance is so bad. Like, why are you fighting, bro? If you don't want to fight, then don't fight. But
Andrew Glenn taking a really close
Peraza could have just fucking rolled off the couch for this.
Trying to level change.
He looks fantastic, man.
4 knockdowns.
He's fighting at 155.
By Peter Peraza in this fight.
You know, this is still round 2.
Under from Caniglia, but he's playing all defense, all offense.
That was it.
And the left uppercut.
Done with. I mean, it was a great showing by Peraza, but definitely a fight that he, probably could have rolled off his couch for to take on, because that was a joke. Now, what I was very disappointed with was that the BKFC did not interview Peraza after the fight, because I think they wanted to avoid a back and forth with him and Brian El Gallo Duran, who've been going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth forever now. For fuck's sakes, can we just get that damn fight booked? I would have loved to have gotten to hear that call out. They didn't have him at the post-fight press conference. I couldn't catch him to talk to him after the fight. I saw him in the bar, and I wasn't going to bother him at the bar. And I had my kids, so I couldn't go into that bar with my underage kids. So, I'll reach out to him on social and get some words with him and see what's up. But he probably felt like he could have rolled out of the couch for that. But we got to get this fight with him and El Gallo Duran booked at 155. Like, enough is enough already. I don't want to keep hearing these guys talk back and forth and not have this fight booked. Moving on, we had a fight between Gustavo Ballart and Alexander Gutierrez. This one was a surprising decision. I mean, Gustavo Ballart is 4'9". He's fighting a guy who's 5'5", and the guy who's 5'5" looks like a giant next to him, obviously with the height difference. Ballart gets a split decision win. Most people thought Gutierrez won this fight. But hey, he got the W. Moving on, we had a big fight here between Julio Perez Rodriguez. He knocks out Lamont Stafford. He's coming off of 2 nasty knockout losses. Young guy, he comes forward a little too much and gets himself caught, and he immediately got himself caught by Stafford. Perez Rodriguez got dropped in the first 15 seconds. Like, oh, here we go again. But
with a cut eye.
That was his response after getting dropped.
I would say one knockdown apiece.
After he got dropped, he got split open by getting dropped one time. And that was his response. And
with a cut
that was
eye.
a big response. Then he finishes the fight.
Forward on the left hand. Big swings, big
He
swing.
finishes the fight there. And Perez Rodriguez is your winner.
We are done.
He is your winner. And then we can move on here into this. This was a weird one, guys. This was a weird one between Eduardo Suarez and Romain Coursier. Coursier drops Suarez, I think, 3 times in this fight. He's got a twin brother who fought in the previous card. But, man, every time Coursier touched him, he fell. I don't know what the jaw deal is, but every time Coursier touched Suarez, he got dropped. He got dropped 3 times in round 1. And the way the fight ended was real odd because it looked like he was playing with the count, and he thought that it was an 8 count or a 9 count, and it was and the referee got to 10, and he didn't get up until after he got to 10. It's like, what happened, bro? You got dropped 3 times. I mean, realistically,
Counter, he's doing both.
Straight right hand. That is clean. That is knockdown number 2.
Just getting in on those shots, almost lowering his opponent to sleep.
8.
Torres not ready for Torres getting up.
So what are you doing? Get your fucking ass up.
For Romain Coursier.
That was the 3rd time he got dropped. Now my son told me that the referee missed them the 3. I don't know how that is.
That is clean. That is knockdown number 2.
Just getting in on those shots, almost lowering his opponent to sleep. Torres not ready.
Now,
Torres getting up.
I understand count. Let's look at this again.
For Romain Coursier.
All right, let's see when he gets dropped.
Eduardo Suarez now complaining to Chris Young, saying
That
he was
count was kind of fast. Okay, he's down to 24.
That is clean. That is knockdown number 2.
Just getting in on those shots.
At 14, at 24, he got knocked down.
Torres not ready. Torres getting up.
All right, you know what? That count was clean, bro.
Victory for Romain.
That was an 11 count, really, from when he got knocked. That was 11 when he got knocked down. You could have got up. Get your ass up, bro. This was bad, man. And he's complaining about it. That's embarrassing, honestly. This fight, though, was fun right here, guys. Brandon Alfano, man, local guy to Oakland Park, has trained with Bryce Henry and these guys. Went to high school down the street from my house. Bro, this dude, 5'9", comes in fighting this dude, Alex Govea, who's 6'7", heavyweight division. And he goes in there and he folds over the tree and like an axe to the shit and clack, 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 over with. Man, what a joy to watch this kid go. Talked to him after the fight. Nice kid. Young guy. Dad is his coach. Dad coaches boxing. He's been boxing, grew up boxing. He's got heavy power, man. Look at this.
And Burgos right back to the long jab from Alexander.
Holy
Welcome to Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship.
Rhino. I know in my predictions I picked the other dude because I had not heard of either of these guys. They're both 0-0. Look at that overhand right. He had landed a jab earlier in the fight that had cracked Govea. And I was like, oh, damn. He's got heavy power. Bro. This was crazy.
Welcome to Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, Brandon Alfano.
And the place went nuts. This was an early prelim fight. Crazy, man. What a win by this kid, man. Huge night for him. Big salute. And then let me see what other fights we had left, and if I missed any. Oh man, what the hell? Block Leo Akanda against James Rodriguez. So they have anything here on that fight? Damn, they don't have anything on that fight. Oh no, here we go. Leo Akanda and James Rodriguez. This was a scrap, bro. 3 rounds. These guys went at it. Akanda and Rodriguez went at. Akanda comes away with the decision win. Huge win in his opener, and he lands a big shot right here.
Remaining round number 2. Again, just holding on. Left hand. The hand touches, and that is ruled as a knockdown by Andrew Glenn. 45 seconds remaining round number 2.
Again, just holding on.
I mean, it was a great fight by both these guys. Very, very competitive fight. And Akanda comes away with the victory. He's part of El Gallo's crew and the big time win. And then in the other fights that you had tonight, Rohan Prado and Carlo Ricci go to a draw. And in the opener, then Adiam de Villafuerte, he finishes Brian Kleb in round 2 with a stoppage. So what a night of fights, folks. I hope y'all who watched it on TV enjoyed it. The main event ended weird, but hopefully we get a rematch because I would love to see those two guys go at it again. Get all your information right here, man, on Combat Corner, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Like, subscribe, follow, hype the video, and leave your comments, man. We appreciate y'all. This is Combat Corner, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.